much for joining us here on Maruti Suzuki Cricket Live. Happy Easter to all of you. But today, oh gentlemen, this is the way we cap off rivalry week. How excited are you to see VK versus MSD?
It's going to be amazing. The IPL started off the inauspicious.
All of us. Let's find out what's on the show. From the bottom, can they pull off something miraculous here? That is the great rivalry looking forward to in the evening. And speaking of rivalries, it's one that has divided fans across the globe. Who's greater? Brian Lara, Sachin Tendulkar. Guess what? He's here in our studios. We got him together with Sachin Tendulkar and we put them in the gullies. Here's a teaser of what's coming up in gully cricket today. That's the ultimate question. What were you doing on the ground, Brian?
Attempted catch. Didn't get it.
Oh, but who won that one? We can't wait to see. That will be later on the show here on Maruti Suzuki Cricket Live. But you said it. I mean, they're two extraordinary icons that go head to head from CSK perspective. We're hoping to see the return from MSD because he missed the previous game because of an injury that he sustained against KKR.
So I think he is crucial to their success.
Oh, without a doubt. And it's not just from MSD's perspective to another leader who is in a position where he just needs to lead from the back. Every match from here, you heard Virat Kohli say, is a semi-final, which means you've got to bring your A game. That's what he did against KKR. Getting momentum going now. And that really is a question. How do you keep that winning momentum going? You're back at home. You're hosting one of your greatest rivals. And someone who's actually captain Virat Kohli, former RCB captain Kevin Peterson, has just landed in Bangalore. He's getting into our special comm car. I'm just going to have a chat with KP so soon now. But I just want to run this by you, gentlemen. When you look at extreme situations that Virat Kohli and RCB have been in the past, so just take you back to 2016. Out of 7 games, they needed to win 6. They did it. They made the final that year. But Virat Kohli's performance was exemplary. He scored 400s this year. 3 of those 100s came in that streak.
I mean, excellent. I mean, he's a great player, so no doubt about it. And of course, the man of the match is involved in the batting order.
That's right, and we got to see that. All right, KP is ready for us in the special comm car. KP, I'm sure the fans are so excited that you're back at the Chinnaswamy. What are you most looking forward to in this big rivalry today?
Tonight's encounter, obviously CSK versus the RCB. What I'm looking for.
Managed to get you in a situation where you can hear us. But look, you were there the other night when we saw Virat Kohli in the zone. In terms of that, just him being in that zone, leading from the front. Like, how does he keep that momentum really now going?
You would like to think that he'd carry the momentum into tonight's match. You'd like to.
Yeah, you said the team effort. Now, we've just spoken about it. We're expecting ABD to be fit. Now, if he is returning in that sort of form, KP, do you think it's just going to be such a massive boost, really, for RCB, especially when they need to keep this going now?
It's always a big boost if De Villiers plays. It always is a big boost. So, Virat Kohli can shoulder a little bit of that responsibility, but it's not just about if AB plays.
No, absolutely. And we can see that you don't have to contend with the Bangalore traffic today. So you're going to make your way to the stadium right on time, KP. You're looking forward to that.
I tell you what, you're finding me everywhere, aren't you, Mayanti? You're finding me everywhere. I just wanted to sleep now. All I wanted to do, but you're that good at your job. How can I turn down the opportunity to speak to you guys?
Oh, KP, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence.
Oh, I'm actually hell of relieved he's not here. I'm tired of seeing him. I'm tired of working with him. Eden Gardens the other night.
We got the vibe. That's why we decided to just...
Absolutely. I think Kevin belongs
in our special comm car. Just be careful what you wish for. You don't know what's going to happen. All right, so much to look forward to today. Just this rivalry as well. And in terms of what is happening on the rest of the show, just a teaser of what we can get. Ooh, it's the best way to end rivalry week. And what about the rivalry in our studios? There was a little bit of India versus England going on when we took our commentators out of the box. Take a look at this. We'll be right back. Chapter 6 is being scripted right now in the Vivo IPL. It is one of the greatest rivalry that we've seen over the years, and two iconic captains who go head to head. The question is really simple, actually. For a change, Brian, the question is really simple. Who has the edge?
Oh, it's a
Well said, Brian. Well said. You're the one who said it, but look, fair enough. This is that sort of rivalry. These are two iconic players that, in a sense, it just divides the nation, but they also unite them when it comes to seeing their praises. And here's a new take on that and how they inspire us. That is one way to inspire yourself before a big clash. Do I dare ask Graham Smith to rap a few lines? Do I dare? I asked you to dance last year. It didn't happen.
No, I did dance last year. I was incredible.
Was it?
I was the best dancer that this show has ever seen.
Brian, I think I have post-traumatic stress because I've forgotten that dance.
He's from the Caribbean. He's got some rhythm. Actually, this year we have to get him to dance.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
But I asked if you could do it.
My brain's a little bit slow at the moment. I'm just building into the show. Maybe towards the end we can pick it up.
Well, I tell you what, he is the king of cool, isn't he? The prince against the master. That is something that we've been looking forward to all week. And finally here on our Super Sunday, you'll get a tease of these two maestros in gully cricket. Take a look. Can't wait to see that. Stay tuned on Maruti Suzuki Cricket Live to see the entire version of what how Brian's team did, right? Shh, don't tell us anything, Brian. Don't tell us anything. Keep it suspenseful. We will also tell you if MSD is looking good to go, whether he will come back from injury, and then later on, what Kolkata Knight Riders need to do to get themselves out of crisis zone. Here's what's coming up. We'll see you in a bit.
Many years.
I'm sorry, is that a South African term?
Well, yeah, it is.
Did you get it?
It means he's had the better. It means he's had the better. So I expect him to want to, he's that sort of player. He loves that big contest, and he'll want to leave a message out in Bangalore tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, you want your leaders really to be charged up, and you would expect that from Virat Kohli as well. He's coming off his 5th 100 in the Vivo IPL, and that's why he is our phone-pay super player to watch out for. Back to that 100. I mean, a contrast, tale of two 50s, in a sense. The first 50, he took his time, looked like he was struggling, but next, scoring 100, how much absolutely brilliant, weren't they? But I tell you what, it isn't just the biggest rivalry that we've seen between two icons today. I mean, there's a lot of pressure going into today's game, which is why sometimes on Maruti Suzuki Cricket Live, we just like to take the pressure off. Go on, what are you going to say?
Could they put the pre-show together with like the images of me and Brian? We can go and have a
base your character on something then. There you go, fair enough. But just imagine, they have spent so much time with each other as a leadership unit, even for India now, that they understand each other so well. And when it comes to these matchups, it's always Virat Kohli and MS Dhoni that are in focus. Take a look. Now, and there are two other icons that go head-to-head today. I've been waiting the whole week for this, as you have as well, our special version of gully cricket.
one.
Oh, we still have more. What do you think? That was it? We have more of this coming up on Maruti Suzuki Cricket Live after the toss. But that was brilliant. These are the fun we're going to have. Can you just imagine that these two actually got together? But let's switch focus now. We're going to go across now and just speak about the
tournament. You've got a guy who's scoring all your runs, and he's coming in pretty much caged, and he has to let loose. Give him an opportunity. He may fail or not, but you give Andrew Russell 10
match winners in the previous season. Last season got them into the playoffs as well. But this year, especially Kuldeep, has been under tremendous pressure. Like you're saying, when you're in such a point where the emotions just start overflowing, how do you overcome that situation?
Yeah, I mean,
Can you make a difference today?
It's like quicksand. Sometimes the harder you try, the faster you sink, And I just felt he shouldn't have bowled the over that he did the other night. The wicket had no spin in it. It was a beautiful batting surface. He still had overs left with his seamers, in particular Andre Russell. A couple of other guys could have bowled. It was a bad decision. He went to Kuldeep.
The wicket, but it was after 4 matches. And let's have a look at our Dream 11 pitch report. Just the conditions here in Hyderabad as to where Kuldeep possibly could be used. On the other hand, remember the last time we did have a day game in Hyderabad? That is when David Warner and Johnny it's just it. I mean, from Sunrisers' perspective, they said, okay, listen, we broke that losing momentum, Graham. We managed to get back to winning ways. And so much of that will just get down to maybe David Warner as well, because David Warner is possibly only going to be there for 2 more games before he needs to leave. So about
So many teams are going to have to rejig their combinations in the next 10 days with players leaving for World Cup preparation. Johnny Besto's going as well. SRH, 2 best players are going to be out here. They're going to have to find something.
And I tell you what, the 2 captains are going to be under a little bit of pressure today, in a sense, with these talisman openers in a way. How they will perform, we'll have the toss when we come back. Stay with us. We just wait for Danny Morrison to just go finish his action to know exactly what have happened. Now, this is funny. In Hyderabad, there's something strange going on with the toss. Teams winning the toss in the last 10 games end up losing the match. But you can't really call, you don't know if they're going to win the toss or not.
Danny Morrison said Kane Williams got lucky. Well, that's that. Maybe he didn't. Outfield can be tough. It'll be interesting to see what combinations they go with.
Yeah, and they don't like batting first, however. They prefer chasing. So you're right. They're under a little bit of pressure here. All right, we'll go through the teams. But first up, we promised it to you all week. We showed you just a teaser, our version of gully cricket with 2 icons, 2 legends. Here's the rest. Enjoy. Oh, what an experience for us fans to see, you know, the 2 of you. What was that entire experience like for you?
It was great to unite with Sachin again, and it was just awesome. Nice little cricket game. A lot of little kids around.
Tuck him right here, tuck him up. I would stay away from spin unless it's like a world-class spinner that's got so many variations like Rashid Khan. But in general, I think the short-pitched ball and just tuck him up nice and tight.
Game plan will work?
It's worked many times. I think it will again. You know how I feel about those 2 guys up front.
I know you do. And fair enough, you've got your point. But I mean, speaking really of it in terms of those sort of game plans, because you've got to have one against Andre Russell. Now, the question is, without having someone like Robin Uthappa with a couple of changes here in that sort of lineup, does Andre Russell maybe...
To the middle, you can almost just feel the bowlers feeling the pressure. I mean, not often, I don't think ever have we seen such clean hitting, such consistent hitting and such power. So I think bowlers are running up going, oh my...
But you've got to have your game plan set for this man. Let's find out what the Asian Queen's game plan is whenever Andre Russell and his aura just walks out.
Those muscles, he's a big, powerful guy, he's in form. He's got an aura, and it's terrific to see the way that he's playing. The power, set the Vivo IPL alight this year, and that's what you want. I actually was at that stage where I thought, oh my goodness,
I was wondering whether you would throw him off his game. Carry on, Glenn.
I just think it's fantastic. I mean, coming into this year's Vivo IPL, I thought he was kind of at the end. I thought this might be his last Vivo IPL. You know, I saw him at the PSL, didn't play so well, a couple other competitions. But boy, he's coming here and be done in.
Brian, make my trip predictions. Will he be able to maintain eye contact with Scott Styrus today? That's your prediction.
Yeah. I think he could.
That's the way we like things here. It's going to be a very exciting... Scotty, thanks for joining us. It's going to be a very, very exciting day. I can assure you that this is the battle that KKR need to win if they want to get back to winning ways.
7 balls to go. He has the ability to win you the game single-handedly. We've seen that all the way, leaving it to him all the time, but he must come in a lot earlier. He's in the form of his life.
Should you be giving Russell enough time just to at times settle himself in?
Absolutely, because it's got to the stage of that innings where even a...
himself saying, I can walk in at number 4. So all this question of protecting him, do you need to do that to someone who has that experience? If you're Andre Russell, have you evolved your game to walk in as early as possible?
Between 8 to 12 overs, I'm happy for him to walk in, because part of that too, let's not forget, is you suddenly start mixing.
But I tell you what, you did get the start that you wanted from that perspective. And Sunil Narayan, we keep asking, when Sunil Narayan watch cap, that means that he's top scorer, not that he's part of Sunrisers. And you just want to see his matchup maybe with Sunil Narayan, because you look at what he's done in the past against him. Clearly, I mean, Warner, Bairstow used to have to be the key in that chase.
It seems to be when they score runs, isn't it? Then Sunrisers go well on their Russell, Narayan. Trying to think who else, maybe even Chola.
So there's no, so that's what I was going to say. There's no Kuldeep. There's Casey Karappa, who used to be the mystery spinner at one point.
Yes.
You know, could he again have a little bit of mystery in that? It's been a while since we've seen him in the IPL.
He absolutely could be, and the reason for that is that these players wouldn't have seen him. And I wouldn't be afraid to go early to both Bairstow and David Warner because, you know, to speak in generalities, it's the Western players that don't tend to play the spinners quite so well. So throw somebody in there that they haven't seen before, especially if there is mystery about them. And when you consider that, then you just might pick up those early wickets you're after.
Well, I tell you what, there's no mystery in what we're doing next, and that's watching the chase. We're going to get ready for that. Yes, well, enjoyed one-handed shots the other day. Brian, Lara in our VR studios, Graham with us as well, and we got a glimpse of what MSD did at the nets at the Chinnaswamy. So any sign of an injury when you saw him in the nets there?
Probably just trying to give them a calm understanding of how to go about it. Let's stay calm, let's work on the areas, build on what the success that we had in the previous game. You know, they've got a bit of X factor with staying with the ball now. We've seen Negi, Chahal, Bawal at
It's such an extraordinary rivalry.
I think it's amazing because each player is the key player in their team. I mean, between the captains about, you know, who's going to win this rivalry. It's going to be a big game and something I look forward to.
Who's going to win the battle? It's the other news, of course, is AB.
Tonight, let's just hope from a fan's perspective that he gets to 8 to 10 balls because then you're going to see the best of AB.
How much of a boost is it to have AB back?
I think it's amazing, and I believe that he, being outside, watched the team's victory, would want to get involved and knows where he has to get involved. You know, Moeen Ali has done a great job.
So that's big, big news for both sides. ABD is back. Dwayne Bravo is back. Could actually end up being the battle between them with bat and ball.
Well, it's nice to see Dwayne back. He's missed 4 games or so. He's a major part of the team. He's a wicket taker, so hopefully
everyone knows their roles. His role was to, of course, score 100 in the last game. He did that. AB de Villiers will know his role.
The bowling with a dewy ball will affect their spin bowlers, their slower options, the seamers. You know, again a change. Siraj out, Umesh back in.
Yeah.
So searching for still some combinations, but you know they're going to be targeting 200. Yeah, can they get there?
Oh, and it's going to be a lot of fun if there are conditions that you could do that. It could be this, but look, it is one of the most intense rivalries over the years since 2014. RCB haven't beaten Chennai Super Kings. Does it come down to today to change fortunes? This is a rivalry that we have been invested in. The rivalry that splits the nation. Superstars, the superheroes are back as well, and of course the great news there is that DJ Bravo is back, which means that if RCB
to do that as a team, they need everyone performing.
Yeah, you said that as well. You heard Virat Kohli saying that, didn't he? Because the team that plays the best cricket on this sort of condition is going to get there. Let me just take you back to 2016 when RCB were in this sort of position. They needed to win 6 out of 7. They did that. Virat Kohli in that period scored 300. He started scoring the 100 now when the pressure is on. Virat Kohli rises to the occasion. It was so easy to just pick someone's brain and find out the ideas. What do you think, Jennifer? Imagine if we did that to Dean Jones or Scotty Stars one of these days. Oh no, the things that we would find.
You'd get in there and it'd be empty. It would be absolutely empty. You could run around, do whatever you want, get away with murder.
Fair enough, all right. We won't attempt it. We won't attempt it. But it's not just the 2 iconic captains here. It is also the 2 lieutenants, if you think about it. So the good news, if you're just joining us, let's talk about the setup there from Deepak Chahar.
Yeah, I love the bowling from Deepak Chahar because he got the ball to swing, and that is when he's at his most, playing nicely in a relatively easy catch for MS Dhoni.
And what a moment in the game, really, because he's been one of the most potent
it was a match-turning moment when AB was out because he had the ability to take the game away from CSK.
And you wonder whether they would have got those 20 runs that they feel short. If looking forward to this chase, it's going to come down to Faf du Plessis and Shane Watson at the top. They were out there having conversations with but I tell you what, this chase is still going to be on for sure. But before that, let me remind you how
if he can get some swing with a slip in place, they may just pick up those early wickets. So I would say stay warm. Chahal, but not straight away.
I'm not so sure if he does that, Scotty. That's only you. But I tell you what, he's right, because he might actually reserve the...
And I tell you what, does he know how to read a game, MS Dhoni? He just knows he has more time and backs his ability, and right to the nth degree, he nearly won the impossible.
Extra
In the last over.
26, yeah, and getting those... And you spoke about those calculated risks. That's the thing that, we still try.
Could have tried the wide Yorker at the end. He just bowled in the slot the whole time, allowing Dhoni to access the leg side. Oh, what a finish.
It really was. And what an innings from MSD. But it is RCB that finally managed to beat the Yellow Armies after 2014, that too by 1 run. Let's go back over to the Chinnaswamy for the presentation.
Good of the game. But I tell you what, it's a great throw for Parthiv Patel. He's been going through a lot of problems with his family, and his dad's been sick. He'd be really proud of his efforts today.
You've got to go back to the fact that it was 26 runs that was required of the last over. Who else but MSD? Thumbs up charge performance of the day. Just waited for the right time. And no matter, Graham, when you look at situations, and no matter how much you came out today and gave us the Oppo moment of the day, it just makes you think that they weren't complaining about that, were they? But this is the kind of form that you want to see. But something has changed for RCB ever since they've kind of, thrown down the gauntlet. One of that is Dale Steyn. You go back to their previous games, you think about the wickets that they took in the power play. Now you think of the impact of Dale Steyn. Swiggy fastest delivery of that day. I know he was smiling.
Rainer scared of that bouncer. Bang! That was good. I enjoyed that.
Made quite a bit of a difference, did it? You need to pick up wickets in the power play if you're going to put pressure on your opposition.
Well, that's right. It rightfully said by Graham. They had 3 wickets in the power play all Vivo IPL season. And he comes in the team, and you've got to have a strike bowler, and they've got one with Steyn, and all of a sudden they've grown an extra leg.
And you've got to have those steady starts. One more thing that has worked for them, you mentioned it, the form of Parthiv Patel yet again. He has been one of the players, the batsman.
Happy.
And I tell you what, this is the seal for RCB right now. Can't even slip up once,
Coaches speak one game at a time. Let's just go one game at a time. Let's get over tonight, see who's fit.
You just said RCB causing a shock. Can you believe that? This is the situation really when it comes down to the Vivo IPL and what Rivalry Week has meant to us. Those close encounters, those passionate ones, really emotions all over the place. Can't think of a better way to really sum up Rivalry Week. As we go into this breather, come on, we've got to have another look at this moment, the massive maximum